stage presence today. So I've got 3 tips for you. The first one is how to hold your body. You want your legs about shoulder width apart. Even having your feet shoulder width apart kind of keeps everything even and balanced. The next thing is you want to make sure your knees are bent. You've seen those videos where somebody faints when they can't breathe. It's because their knees were locked, just like this, boop, locked. But what we want to do is just slightly bend our knees. Now you notice that as I did that, it gave me a little bit of movement. We want to keep movement going. We want that flow to begin so that we're already moving. Say hi to my dog. When it's time to get the rest of our body engaged for the audience. The next thing that you want to do is be thinking about your eyes, your eye placement. Right now, I'm staring at you, you're staring at me, that's great. What I want to do is I want to choose 3 spots in the room. I want something nice and high up to my left. This is my left over here. But I'm not looking up at the ceiling, because when I look up at the ceiling, my chin goes up, doesn't it? So I want to keep things nice and even, but something high where my eyes are up here. Then over to my right, I want to choose something low, not on the ground, because what happens to my eyes happens to my chin also, and that contracts our singing, our vocals. But something kind of low, maybe kind of the base of a chair is what I'm looking at over there, but it's kind of in the distance. Now, when you go to the center, you want to choose something that is central, somewhere in the middle, but it is not somebody's eyes. If you make eye contact, whoo, it's gonna get you. So what I like to do is choose a spot, an area, a section that's kind of just above where people's heads would be. So everybody in your audience thinks, oh, well, she might not be looking at me, but they're probably just looking at the person behind me. We want to kind of give that. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm choosing a spot that's beyond the camera right now. And you can kind of be fooled that it looks like I'm looking at you, but in reality, I'm not. So I'm not getting those like jitters that making eye contact can do. The next thing that we want to think about, this last part, is our arms. Now, sometimes when we get nervous, we kind of do, we kind of play with something, or we each have our own little thing that we do with our hands. So you see that I'm very animated. That's one way that's great to be, as long as it goes with your natural way. Here are some 3 great tips of what to do with your hands if you just don't know. Let's see, if I move, there we go, there you can see a little bit better. The first one is to have them low and kind of wide. Now we don't want to keep them here because you can see this is a power move, truly a power move. So the moment that you want to make a point with something, that is where they can go. If you are like, this matters to what I'm communicating, this matters to my song, low and wide. The next one is a little bit more thoughtful, and that can be a little more central. I'm kind of just gently, nice and relaxed, have my hands together. Now, those can travel a little bit. You don't want too much traveling with your hands if you're not creating a big picture. But if you aren't sure what to do with your hands, it's okay to have them in the center. The last one is the most comfortable. This communicates comfort. Right now I have one arm just hanging, and the other arm is where I'm giving just a little bit of life to what I'm saying and singing without lots of extra moves and trying to communicate, oh, I was sleeping or I ate. We don't need to do all those things because we wouldn't do that normally. If you are simply singing and trying to figure out what to do with your hands, a good position is to have one down and one kind of halfway up. But as you do these things, you want to kind of keep moving between each of those things. So hopefully those are some good tips for stage presence for you. Give you some things to think about.